The story begins at a middle school graduation ceremony, where students are gathering for the last time. A boy named Ayo approaches a girl and says, "Asakawa, I like you. Will you go on a date with me?" The girl replies, "Ayo, you are a very nice person, and I like you for that. But the mere thought of dating you makes me want to vomit." Ayo is devastated, thinking to himself that this was the first rejection that actually made him want to die. His friend approaches to cheer him up, but then asks a heartbreaking question. "So, how many total rejections have you had now?" Ayo asks why he is being so cruel, and the friend explains that since they won't see each other after today, he is curious. Ayo reveals that he has officially hit a century 100 rejection. His friend is shocked that Ayo hasn't given up after 99 failures and asks when he even started asking girls out. Ayo recalls his first rejection happened when he was only 8 months old. Desperate for love, Ayo exclaims that he wants to have love bomb fights instead of snowball fights. His friend wonders why he gets rejected so much since he is actually a good guy, but jokingly hopes that Ayo doesn't die if his rejection count increases in high school. Ayo tells him not to curse his future. Seeking divine intervention, Ayo prays at a shrine for a girlfriend. Suddenly, a figure appears and tells him not to worry. Startled, Ayo yells "Thee," but the person clarifies that he is the god of the shrine. The god tells Ayo that it is written in his destiny to find a girlfriend in high school. In fact, he will find his soulmate, someone chosen for him since birth. The god explains that when soulmates meet, they feel an electric shock in their bodies and fall in love instantly, commonly known as love at first sight. While girls realize this immediately, it takes boys a little longer to process. The god breaks the fourth wall, telling Ayo to stop repeating his words because they have a lot to cover. In the first episode, and complaining that some of his lines from the manga were cut, he explains that not everyone has a soulmate, but those who do are very lucky. However, due to a massive blunder, Ayo has 100 soulmates. Ayo is stunned. The god admits that on the day Ayo was born, he was distracted watching a TV show called Fortress in the Sky and accidentally wrote 100 soulmates for Ayo. Ayo is furious, asking what kind of god works while watching TV. However, the god gives him a grim warning. Meeting a soulmate is a blessing, but if soulmates meet and do not end up together, they will eventually die. 1 month later, Ayo starts high school. While walking, he bumps into 2 girls simultaneously. Immediately, all 3 feel a bolt of electricity through their bodies. Ayo realizes these must be 2 of his soulmates, but he tries to act normal so as not to seem weird. Both girls, Ina and Hanazono, pretend to have hurt their legs to get Ayo's attention. Seeing them injured, Ayo blames himself and starts crying, feeling like a terrible soulmate for hurting them on their first meeting. The girls are touched by his pure soul. They both end up clinging to him as they head to the medical room. Ayo feels like the luckiest person in the universe, but is also overwhelmed. They soon learn they are all in the same class. Later, they hear a rumor that if you find a 4-leaf clover in the school's garden of pink clovers and propose with it, the success rate is 100%. For hours after school ends, Ayo is still there helping a teacher find a lost contact lens. Afterward, he sees Ina and Hanazono in the garden searching for the clover. He realizes they are working hard for him, then decides to intervene. He approaches them individually with drinks. Hanazono tries to trick him into an indirect kiss by sharing a drink, but she gets so excited she spills it and starts crying. Ayo gives her his handkerchief, and Hanazono suddenly confesses her love, saying she feels like she loves him insanely and didn't want to wait. Just then, Ina arrives with a bunch of cans, acting like she doesn't care, but clearly jealous. She also confesses, saying that while she's doing him a favor, she actually loves him and wants to be his girlfriend. Both girls demand that he choose one of them. Ayo goes home and agonizes over the decision. He visits the god again, who confirms the stakes. If he chooses one, the other will eventually die because she didn't find happiness with her soulmate. Ayo is horrified. He briefly considers dating them both in secret to save them, but he rejects the idea, wanting to be loyal and honest because they were so sincere with their feelings. The next day at school, Ayo gives his answer: "I want both of you to be my girlfriends." Ina is initially angry at the suggestion. Ayo explains that he spent the entire night with the teachers, helped searching the garden until he found a pink 4-leaf clovers to give them as gifts. He tells them he couldn't choose because he loves them both equally and promises to work his hardest to make them both happy. Hanazono, moved by his dedication and the gift, agrees immediately, saying she can't imagine loving anyone else. Eventually, Ina gives in as well. On his very first day, he meets 2 girls, Dane and Hanazono, who both fall instantly in love with him. Ayo, wanting to save them both, manages to convince them to be his girlfriends simultaneously. The next morning, Ayo is so excited about having 2 girlfriends that he hasn't slept a wink. He is seen talking to a pole out of sheer joy when Dane and Hanazono arrive. Dane mocks him for talking to a pole, but Ayo explains his lack of sleep. The romantic tension rises when Hanazono grabs Ayo's hand, not wanting to leave anyone out. Ayo grabs Dane's hand as well. Dane, acting like a classic tsundere, claims she doesn't like it that much but allows it since Ayo seems happy. They decide to move to a first-name basis. Ayo calls Hanazono Hakari and Dane Kurane, which makes both girls incredibly happy. As they walk through the school, they witness the terrifying vice principal chasing a student. Hakari warns Ayo that she is extremely strict about school rules. If she catches anyone running in the corridors, she chases them to the ends of the earth and punishes them with a French kiss. Ayo calls this emotional damage, but Hakari clarifies it's physical too, as her kiss attack is inescapable. The conversation naturally turns to kissing, when Ayo admits he has never kissed anyone before. Hakari and Kurane realize that whoever kisses him first gets his first kiss. A fierce, silent rivalry begins. During lunch on the rooftop, the competition intensifies. Hakari tries to hand-feed Ayo delicious food. Kurane tries to feed him a cookie, but in her nervousness, she accidentally pokes him in the eye with it. Hakari then brings out pocky sticks, but breaks the ends off so they have to be shared. She puts one end in her mouth and leans toward Ayo. Kurane, consumed by by jealousy, tries to jam another stick into Ayo's mouth, but pokes his other eye instead. Seeing Ayo's eyes red from being poked, Kurane claims he has a cold. She suggests the old myth that you can transfer a cold to someone else by kissing them. Hakari interrupts, saying she needs to check his temperature using the Foradan lips method used in her family. The two girls start bickering again. Ayo realizes they are fighting over who gets the first kiss. He tells them he wants to kiss them both and has spent the entire night devising a plan to ensure neither feels left out. He introduces a complex game involving a dice, a music player with loud music, and eye mask. The plan is for Ayo to wear the mask and headphones so he can't see or hear where the girls are standing. The girls would roll the dice to decide their positions. Ayo would then roll a diode for right, even for left, and kiss whoever was there first. Since everyone would be masked, no one would truly know who was first. However, the plan fails repeatedly due to interruptions, including a random cat. By evening, the girls are exhausted and start fighting again, calling the plan stupid. Feeling like a useless and inexperienced boyfriend, Ayo runs away in despair. In a moment of self-sacrifice, he starts running in the corridor and shouting to attract the vice principal. He decides that if his first kiss is causing his soulmates to fight, he will throw it away by letting the vice principal kiss him instead. Just as the vice principal lunges at him, Kurane grabs her by the neck, and Hakari tricks her into leaving by pretending a school inspector has arrived. The girls are shocked that Ayo would go to such lengths. Ayo explains that he loves them both so much that he'd rather waste the kiss than see them unhappy. Deeply moved, the girls point at each other and suggest that if he's going to waste it, he might as well kiss the other girl. Ayo proposes a new idea, a three-way kiss, though hesitant because it means the girls will technically be touching lips too. They realize their bond is strong enough. The three hold hands and share a group kiss, solving the conflict. The next day, the trio visits the library to find cookbooks. Hakari and Kurane are still bickering over a book, but they are clearly closer than before. While browsing the shelves, Ayo accidentally bumps into another girl. As their eyes meet, a familiar spark of electricity, the soulmate connection, shocks them both. Ayo has just found his third soulmate, and the journey to 100 continues.